Hello everybody, welcome to our new video series about my first TIG welder and fabrication. So it's the hottest day of the year so far. It's about 28 degrees centigrade in the garage. It's probably not the best time for welding, but I just wanted to make this video and start this series and tell you what it's all about. So something I've always fancied doing is having a go at TIG welding. I've always liked making things. I've had a MIG welder for a few years, but I'm definitely not a welder. I don't do it very often, and I thought now's time to get a TIG welder. This is to coincide with our new series of videos where I'm going to be turboing my Suzuki Bandit 1200. I could have took it to a shop and got a really good job done, but I like to try things out myself, and to do that I need to be able to weld stainless steel and aluminium, and the best bet for that I believe is going to be TIG welding. But this series, my first TIG welder, is going to be all about me learning to weld, learning the different materials, and also doing some fabrication work. I've got a few projects lined up to help me learn about making things, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the videos and do some learning along with me. And if there's any experienced welders or fabricators out there, I'll be more than grateful for any advice you've got. So this is my new TIG welder. I did buy it off the internet. It's come from Germany, but I'm pretty sure it's a Chinese welder, like a lot of them are these days. So it's a 200 amp AC/DC welder, which means I can weld mild steel, stainless steel, aluminium and titanium and everything in between. Now I'm not completely up on all the specs and all the features of the welder just yet. It's got the option for a foot pedal. It does something called slope up and slope down, and lots of bits and bobs like that. And I haven't even tried it on AC, which you need for aluminium. As you can see in front of me, I've done some mild steel pipe and some plate and bits and bobs, just playing with it. Now it wasn't just as simple as getting a welder. There's plenty of other bits and bobs I needed to get before I could do my first weld. One of the things you can see in the background is my gas bottle. You need to use pure argon when you're doing most TIG welding. You can use other gases, but 98% of the time you just need pure argon. You also need a regulator, which is on top, and then you need the pipe work to go into the back of the welder. Trying to get argon isn't the hardest job in the world, but trying to find the right deal that works for you can be quite hard when you're not a business and it's just for yourself. You have to either buy a bottle or rent a bottle or put a deposit down on a bottle, and there's lots of different options out there, but I think I found one that's going to work well for me. Another item you need to get before you start welding is a mask. Now this one isn't the best mask in the world, but you can turn it on and off, and it's sensitive to the bright light and stuff like that, and again lots of settings on it, but I'm kind of happy with it, and I've actually had this a couple of years, but it is something you need before you do your welding to protect your eyes. Another item you need is something called a tungsten. Now TIG stands for tungsten and inert gas. Argon, that I was talking about earlier, is the inert gas, and tungsten is a rare earth metal. Now the tungstens come much longer than this. This is probably a third of its original size. They're quite a bit longer. You have to grind these to various different points and shapes depending on what sort of welding you're doing, and if you ever touch the tungsten against the metal you're welding, it ruins the end of it, and then you have to grind it back to the point you need, and that's why it's so short already. Another item you need for welding is some welding rods or filler rods, or filler wire some people call it. It's available in lots of different sizes, in lots of different materials, and you can get it for welding just about everything. I've just started out with some mild steel stuff because I just want to get practicing and get used to doing the welding, and then as I do other materials I'll buy some different filler rod that's right for the material I'm using. I think I've done enough talking for the moment. Shall we do a little bit of welding? I've got my earth clamp, I've got my little platform to work with, and I've got some pieces of metal to weld up. I've had to clean them up and cut them to size and bits and bobs. So I'm going to turn my welder on. I'm going to put my helmet on and turn it on. I'm going to put my gloves on. And then I need to tack these two pieces of metal together, and then I can show you what I need to do while I'm welding. So I'll just hold these together. Alright, bear with me. That was weird. There we go, that's one side tacked. The other side, and then I'm going to do one on the back as well. So that is all tacked together, and it's starting to get a little bit warm. So when I'm welding, what I need to do is hold the torch in the corner piece, which can be a little bit awkward, and then I need to use the filler rod, and I have to hold this really close, and then I have to dab it in. So I'm going to try and do a run of weld and see how I get on. At the moment I've only got one mask, so I can't actually show you what the arc and what it actually looks like behind the mask, but hopefully in future videos I'll be able to show you. But for now I'll just have to do the weld and then spin it round and let you see what it looks like. Right, let's give it a try. As you can see, I'm still quite new to this, and I've got me filler rod stuck. There we go. Right, let's try again. Any experienced TIG welders out there might have heard the noise it made when I touched my filler rod against the tungsten, and now it's a bit of a strange shape, so I'm going to have to regrind that before I do any welding. But there we go, some welding done. I'm quite happy with the second run I did before I stuck the filler rod on the first run. I can see from the back it's penetrated all the way through, and it doesn't look too bad. Again, I'm not a professional welder. This is the first few goes I'm having with doing some welding, and I've just got to say, I am loving it. So as you can see, I've done a few test pieces and practices and bits of welds and bits and bobs like that. I'm quite happy with the progress I'm making. I tried a bit of pipe as well, that I'm actually quite happy with, because I'm going to be welding an exhaust system in the future. But yeah, I'm just really happy I've got to have a go at TIG welding, and I've got a lot of learning to do. There's lots of techniques and ideas and amps to do and pulsing and all sorts of stuff. There's so much to learn with TIG welding, and I'm going to enjoy the journey, and hopefully you enjoy it with me. And I'm always open to learning new things, and if anyone's got any advice out there, please feel free to let me know in the comments. So I appreciate you all watching the video. Hope you found it interesting. I'm going to have quite a few more sort of my first welder and fabricating videos. I've got a couple of projects lined up that aren't motorcycle related. They're just some bits to make. And then I'm going to be doing some fabrication on the bike in the bike series as well. If you want to follow along with any of our videos, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon, and you'll get a notification whenever we make an upload, which is normally Sunday evenings at 9 PM. So again, thanks for watching guys, and until next time, we'll see you later.